And we are live again. Second takes, but no one knows. Only because I just said. How we all doing, Alex Mendoza?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I was better on the first take, but then hey ho. How are you doing, Louis?
Louis,
Can you
we can
hear
hear
us?
you now.
Can you
I'm still supporting the NHS for you two.
show us a t-shirt? Go on.
There you go.
There we
That's
go.
beautiful. We love the NHS and all the hard work that everyone is doing. I had
Yep.
COVID, I've recovered, and it was because of great advice from the good people at the COVID team. We love you.
It's not a fun test though, but it is definitely something you should do.
Yes.
Wear a mask, save lives, all of that jazz.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are making light sort of speech about it, but it is actually serious. Do wash your hands. Do protect others. Do wear your masks, and do protect those around you and the community that you live in. Right, guys?
Amen.
100%.
Amen.
But back to football. What
Guys,
we're talking about today,
it's been a while, and we are back. Sick of
Episode 11. Let's go.
Episode 11. On today's episode, we will be talking England. Just won 4-0 against Iceland tonight. We'll be talking formations. We'll be talking manager. We'll be talking about the man on everyone's lips, Jack Grealish, as well. Not only does this affect Liverpool, but injuries in the Premiership seem to be a regular occurrence at the moment. Is it just a bit of an off season? Obviously, with COVID, we always seem to be talking about COVID, or is it more than that? We'll get the guys' opinions on that. Moving on, we'll talk about the Premiership in general as well. Have there been any surprises? The guys will let you know what they think of the season thus far. And then ending, we will be talking about fantasy football. Who are the picks coming up for this weekend? Will Mohamed Salah make it for Liverpool? Josh thinks not. Alex is on the fence. We'll discuss a few potential topics on fantasy football later on. But guys, firstly, thanks to all the fans out there. If you don't follow us already, do subscribe over here. Do follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Sick of the Pundits. We are here. We are the armchair experts, and we are here to give you our opinion. Let's start first on England. Obviously, it's been an international break for the last 2 weeks. Josh, England impressed you under Southgate?
I think Southgate does too much, and it annoys me. It annoys me so much because I feel like this group of English players is probably the most raw, talented English players that we've had in a very long time. I would say since the golden generation. And I mean, when I mean golden generation, I mean your Lampards, your Scholes, your Steven Gerrard, those guys. And I feel like he's just trying to make everybody happy instead of actually doing what's right for the team. Like, and it's so frustrating because, like I said, this raw talent, you've seen this English group win the under whatever 18 World Cup to doing well in under 21s to now they're in the England team now. And they're straight up ballers. Like Phil Foden should be starting every game. Sancho should be starting every game. Sterling is not fit, I don't think, at the moment, but he should be starting every game. Harry Kane should be starting every game. Stop.
How do you fit everyone in? No, but go on. Sorry to interrupt.
I just for me, your best 11 should play, and then if anybody else starts showing some talent, then you integrate them. But at the moment, Southgate is playing Mason Mount, playing Harry Winks. And I'm just like, if you go to the Euros playing these average guys, these guys who would never get into the France team, would never get into the Spain team, would never get into the German team, then you're not going to win. You have to win. Like Southgate, if Southgate flops, he needs to get sacked.
Those are some fair points, Josh. Obviously, the players you mentioned wouldn't get into the French team, the German, the Spanish team. They are English. Alex, we've spoken about the three centre backs that Southgate seems to favour at the moment. What's your views on like his formation in general?
For the personnel that we have in the England squad, I don't particularly like it. Like, why can't you just play to the players' strengths 4-4-3-3 seems like the best. You know, we've got good fullbacks in Trent and Chilwell. You can play good centre backs. You know, you've got a wide variety of options there. In the midfield, it seems pretty obvious. You know, Declan Rice probably the best defensive midfielder. Then you'd have Hendo or Ward-Prowse maybe. Grealish has to start at the moment, in my opinion. He's playing brilliantly. And then, you know, front three, Sancho, Rashford, either or, and then Kane and Sterling would probably be my best six in general. So I don't get why he's persevering with this formation. Like Trippier and Walker on the right doesn't really excite anyone, does it? You know, even no, but I guess Saka's getting some minutes. He's a really good player, but it just seems like he's forcing this formation down our throats, and I mean, England doesn't really excite me in general anyway. Over the past previous years, we had actually, like Josh said, this group of players, probably you expect the most from them than previous years. So he should have a lot of pressure on him because he's got the talent there. He just needs to use it right. And I don't like the formation at all.
Fair enough. Josh, do you think within for this England team to be successful, do you think Rice and Henderson can both start in the middle for England, or does that almost waste a defensive midfielder that could be sacrificed for a more attacking player that would guarantee almost like a Jack Grealish to start?
I think watching England play through how many tournaments since, I want to say 2002, when I was actively probably watching football. So that's a very long time of watching England and being heartbroken by England. I think playing Henderson and Rice is important because that gives defensive surability. Is that a word? Stability. Shoring and a bit of stability. I put them together, and that's what England needs. Because England have been, because quality-wise in the midfield, you're not gonna get the greatest thing. But if you do what Liverpool do and have like a functional midfield, and then let the attacking players express themselves, then I think that's the goal. And I think if you have Declan Rice, who I think is pretty solid, and then you have Jordan Henderson's leadership there in the center of the midfield, it also protects England's centre backs, who I don't think none of them are really special. I think Joe Gomez is up and down, and he's injured now, and he might struggle to make the Euros anyway. And then Harry Maguire is one of the biggest frauds I've ever seen in world football. So you've got to protect those guys. And also, if you do play that Chidwell Trent, which I think you definitely should do, then you have to have holding midfielders to protect them when they go flying forward. So yeah, I think it's important for a Rice and Henderson to play, and then you've got that third midfielder, which either that could be Grealish or Foden. Express yourself, do whatever you want to do, and then you have Sterling. I would play Sterling and Sancho, and then I would have Kane up front, and then I would have Saka and Rashford to come on to make impact, and that's what I would do.
Fair enough. I like the sound of that, the balance in that team. Alex, we've seen Southgate play a few sort of players that we wouldn't probably consider as regulars, although I guess Mason Mount does seem to be a favourite for Lampard for Chelsea and also for Southgate for England. Where can England be successful with Mason Mount playing regularly for England?
You don't want to single players out. I actually like Mason Mount. I don't mind him. Like, he gets a lot of stick. Like, look. I mean, look at Josh now. He's Mason Mount. Look, you can't be a bad player if you're starting for England and Chelsea on a regular basis. You can't. Josh, why give you them eyes? You can't. These are one of the top nations in the world, one of the top teams in the world. So you have to be pretty decent. I think the reason he plays is because he's reliable off the ball. You know he's going to do a job in that sense. And if you do have the creative players expressing themselves, he is happy to take a back seat and be the provider, you know, the pre-assist kind of thing, or make decoy run, whatever it may be, the stuff that doesn't show up in the stats that many people won't see. And then they'll just say, oh, Mason Mount doesn't do anything, even though he scored today, I guess. But you can be successful depending on the system. And then it's not fair to say can they be successful with Mason Mount in the team? Because it's a whole bunch of different variables that you have to consider anyway. But I think the team as a whole, the formation doesn't cater to any one strength other than maybe fullbacks, I guess. I'm actually trying to think.
They don't even play the best fullbacks, which is I don't get it. I
No,
don't
but
get it.
Trent's injured.
Trent is injured, to be fair.
He
Yeah, fair enough.
starts. Chilwell starts as well normally, innit? So they're the best fullbacks, and you've got backup in Saka and Trippier. So, I mean, they're good fullbacks. They're good at what they do. They can all cross the ball. They can all take on the player, and they don't have the defensive responsibility. But it's like, why would you let them do that when you could just have standard 4-3-3 and let Sancho and Sterling and Rashford doing all of that stuff anyway? Grealish can arguably do a job on the wing as well if you don't want to play him there and XYZ is injured. Drop Ward-Prowse in there as well. He's a great footballer. So,
yeah, just really quickly then, Alex, just obviously on more periphery players, just give us your opinions really quickly. Does Nick Pope replace Jordan Pickford? Does Reece James threaten the right back spot? And does Dominic Calvert-Lewin, if he carries on his early season form, does he threaten Harry Kane up front?
Pickford should have been dropped already,
2 years
in
ago.
my opinion. Maybe, regardless, he should have been dropped already. I do really like Reece James as a player. He can definitely push Trent for that starting role, depending on who's in form. Who was the other one you were saying?
Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
See, he's a tricky one, because I actually don't rate Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but he's really coming to his own. Yeah, I'm a hater, only because he's not the type of footballer that I like to watch. He's very traditional number 9, and I don't think there's much footballing skill in doing that. It's more the physical side of things, the nitty-gritty side of things, holding the ball up and all of that jazz. And he's great at that, don't get me wrong, but to push Kane, nah, Kane's a much better footballer all round, so no way does Dominic Calvert-Lewin start over Kane.
Fair enough.
Right.
Josh, you obviously, Josh, you're a big Pope fan over Pickford. Anything else to add?
Yeah, Pickford should have been gone like ages ago. I don't even understand. Either he must have pictures on Southgate or something. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. It literally doesn't make sense to me. That guy has always got a mistake in him. He's always got a mistake in him. And like, even some of the games, and it always happens in the big games as well. You can't go into a tournament with a goalkeeper like that. Like,
Nah,
it doesn't make sense.
He'll
So
cost England.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I like him instinctively. Again, I think he's a good. Do you know what it is? I think he's improved under Ancelotti. I think Ancelotti has made him into a Duncan Ferguson sort of player, but now it's more of I'm going to score a goal. Like he's not just Duncan Ferguson. Now it's like I'm going to score a goal. Like he has the belief in himself. So I would definitely take him to the tournament, but not starting him over Kane. And who was the last player that you mentioned?
Reece James.
Reece James. This is the most ridiculous thing. I don't think Reece James is better than Wan-Bissaka. Like, I don't think he's better than Wan-Bissaka.
What?
I wouldn't pick Reece James over Wan-Bissaka, not at all. Wan-Bissaka is one of the best defensive fullbacks I'm going to say in world football today. Like, honestly, Wan-Bissaka is brilliant at tackling. He's the total opposite to Trent, but Reece James has got a shot on him, and I don't want my fullbacks to have a shot on them. No, he's
Trent does.
Confident. I give him that. He's very confident, but I saw him against Liverpool, and I can't take that out of my mind. I can't take it out of my mind.
But we're Liverpool.
He was so average against Liverpool. He's very
Liverpool.
strong. I don't care. Well, hold on. If we're going to judge players on how good they are, I want to see them against the best teams. And that guy didn't show me anything.
But you're not going to play Liverpool week in, week out. So
in international football, you are. You're facing the best teams in the world.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
You've got
100%.
Teams. Like, look at who England placed. They versed Ireland. I mean, not Ireland. Sorry, Iceland today. They were dog shit.
But when no
offense to the Iceland fans, by the way.
Iceland fans are coming after you still. As soon as they're Vikings, they're coming and jumping on the boat. But as soon as you, he lives in Wembley, by the way. As soon as you get out of your group stages, you're facing the likes of Portugal, France, Spain, Germany. You're facing the top teams.
But you can't judge him off of his game against Liverpool
to go up against the top teams. No.
Yes, he is.
He's too young. Let him play Chelsea for a couple seasons, and then let me see it after that. But Wan-Bissaka, for me, has proven himself at Crystal Palace. He was solid. At Manchester United, he's solid. He doesn't have anything going offensively, That's fine. That's why you got Trent, and that's why Trent starts ahead of him.
Yeah, it's a fair argument.
I guess we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what Southgate does in the future. Moving on, guys. Injuries have been a major thorn, not only for Liverpool, but for a lot of teams in the Premiership. The latest, obviously, I say injuries, stroke, players getting COVID. The latest and not probably most high profile is Mohamed Salah. However, breaking news, apparently Roberto Firmino may have contracted COVID. Obviously, we were hoping for the best, and he isn't. He hasn't got the COVID, but injuries seem to be destroying Liverpool's season. Is this just a COVID-related thing? Obviously, the players had a lack of pre-season, are playing a lot of games at the moment. Josh, injuries. What's your take on the injuries for all teams and throughout all the leagues in Europe as well this season?
Usually, I'm not really sympathetic towards football players because I feel like you lot are getting a ridiculous amount of money, and for what you're doing. But this time round, I have to say, do you know what? The fact that they're playing a lot of international football at the moment, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, COVID is a thing that's affecting the whole world right now, but it looks like FIFA and UEFA feel like it's not going to affect football players. I think the Premier League...
They're immune. They're immune.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. The Premier League not allowing 5 subs is also stupid because every other league has done that. Spain has 5 subs, Germany has 5 subs. Even in the Championship, they're going to add 5 subs now because they understand that because of the quick turnaround of football, it's affecting the players. You can see it. And I've never seen a Liverpool team get so injury hit. I think we've had 16 injuries, and Man City's also had 16 injuries this season. And it's like, that's insane. It's untainable. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And like,
we're
seeing
unpainable.
Huh?
What did you say? It's unpainable.
I didn't say that. I tried to use a big word. Unsustainable. Maybe.
You're making up words again.
I'm making up words again. I'm doing my best Stephen A. It's just one of those ones where I just think this could have been done better, and unfortunately, my team is the team that's being affected the most. But it makes the Premier League more interesting because if Liverpool didn't lose Virgil van Dijk, if we did have Gomez, we probably would been separated from the group already, and now it gives everybody else a chance to try and play this game of football because right now we're dominating.
Fair enough. So Alex, just in terms of all the injuries and COVID, are you a big fan? Would you like to see like 5 subs brought in for all Premiership games? Would you like to see the sort of the mini break that they introduced just after COVID? Are there any other things that clubs can do to help their players, or is this just sort of part and parcel of the COVID situation we're in at the moment?
Yeah. I mean, we're just in this situation right now. I mean, the fixture list as well doesn't help. It's one of the most congested fixture lists I think we've ever had. The 5 subs things makes the most sense, and the fact that hasn't been signed off on is crazy. Yeah, for 3 subs at the moment, that doesn't make any sense, especially the fact that everyone else is doing it. But you can't really say much other than what Josh said, to be honest, because he's touched on all the right points. There's not much else really to say. Fair play to Joshua on that one. And I can't argue against it. Normally I want to argue against you just to see, but I feel like if I do, I'll come across as a complete and utter idiot. Not that I don't do that already, but yeah, there's not much more to say. Yeah, on that front.
Fair enough. Anyway, I guess we hope for a speedy recovery for not only Liverpool players, but all players who are injured, who may have got the COVID. Moving on, guys. The Premiership is back this weekend. We were going to discuss surprise packages, I guess, of the season. Any particular teams, any particular players? If I look at the top 4, I see Leicester at the top, Tottenham 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, and Southampton 4th. Obviously, Southampton in the top 4 is a big surprise. But Brendan Rodgers with Leicester at top of the table at the moment. Josh, any other surprises for you at the moment?
Sheffield United completely collapsing is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
It's a bit upsetting really because they were a really good surprise package. I guess Manchester United being so poor, like I will
I'm not
say,
surprised about that.
I am very surprised about that. I got into the Bruno Fernandes hype and I thought that Manchester United would be so much better. I thought Donny van de Beek was going to get at least a couple games, but yeah, they've been pretty shocking this season and so beatable at Old Trafford. It's mad. It's mad. Long may that continue. And um, I think Arsenal again. I thought Arsenal would be a little bit better than what they are. And do you know what? Do you know what's surprising about Arsenal? Actually, let me say this: the fact that they lack creativity is a concerning thing. I'd say if I was an Arsenal fan.
I mean, if only they had a proven creative number 10 to alleviate that pressure creatively.
If only they did.
If only they had that type of player.
And if he was German and one of the best assist makers in Real Madrid's history
to ever do it. Oh
to
man!
ever do it.
If only they had that type of player who's on 300k or however much he's on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know who's actually my biggest surprise this season? Would be Man City.
Really?
I'm surprised at how bad they've started. Normally they're not running away with it, but they're at least up there. They're fucking. Where are they? Let me bring up the table. Hold on.
They've got a game in hand.
Currently sitting in 10th.
They're 10th.
They got a game in hand.
But
if they win
10th.
their game in hand, they go right up that table.
To where? 5th.
Yeah.
They are top 5 if they win that game.
Yeah, Man City in 5th. When have you had with 8 games in? Normally they're 1 or 2. That's probably a big surprise.
Tottenham this weekend as well. That's a tasty one.
Yeah, and it's not exactly like that's a given. You know, Tottenham's been in good form lately. Harry Kane's flying. Yeah. So it's not like they're definitely going to win that one as well. And they've been hit with a lot of injuries. So
that's the thing.
But everyone's been hit with injuries. You can't give them the pass. We've been hit by injuries. We're seconds or we're third or whatever it is. And our fixture list has probably been one of the hardest this season.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody's had our run of games. We've played all of the top teams mostly. If anything, from now, we're going to go from strength to strength, even though we have got all these fucking injuries. But I'm not worried. As long as Alisson doesn't get injured, I'm fine with everything else.
Yeah. And to be honest, Thiago, not been a fixture in Liverpool season so far.
Oh my God, when Thiago comes back, might wet myself.
Really good one, isn't it?
Yeah. So good.
Guys, I'll read out the bottom 5 at the moment. So Brighton are in 16th, Fulham 17th, West Brom 18th, Burnley 19th, and Sheffield United 20th. Who would you say are probably safe out of that lot, or who's probably definitely going down? Do you think?
So West Brom, Fulham, and
Brighton.
I'd say maybe Sheffield United. Brighton are a good team. I'd say maybe Sheffield United going down.
You think Sheffield United going down? No way. 100%.
They've got 1 point.
Yeah, I know, but they won't.
Point, yeah.
They won't go down.
7 losses, Alex.
No. They won't go down. Put me on record. Put me on blast. Sheffield United won't get relegated this season. No way.
What about what are we feeling about Leeds United? They obviously had a blistering start. They sit in 15th. I think they've lost their last 2 games. So they are on 10 points. Do you reckon they'll be safe this season, Josh?
Yeah. I've seen enough of Leeds United to say they play really good football, and I think it's going to be a long season for them. It's going to be a tough season for them, but I think even watching most of their games, because Leeds entertain me, innit? So watching most of their games, it's not like they've been battered, even though I think they lost 4-1 against Crystal Palace. But I think that was more of there was moments in that game that VAR decided, and obviously moments can destroy teams. We've seen it when we got battered 7-2 against Aston Villa. There's moments that crush teams, and you can either bounce back from it or not. So I think Leeds will be fine. I just look at Sheffield United, and I just think, and I've watched Sheffield United as well. They overplay, and I watch them, and I'm like, you're overplaying right now. Just put the ball in the mixer, and they don't do it. So I worry for Sheffield United. I really do. I think they've been figured out.
Nah, don't worry for them at all. They will figure it out. I'm that confident in.
Do you think Burnley's going to go down instead of Sheffield United? I don't think so. I think Burnley will figure it out.
They're both going to stay up. West Brom will go down, I reckon. Fulham, sadly. I really want Fulham to stay up, but I don't think they will.
No, they're terrible.
Yeah, I know.
Garbage.
And then who else is going to go down?
You think Brighton's going to go down?
I think they might. I mean, Lamptey can only do so much.
No, but they've got a good team.
Right back.
Lamptey should be in the England squad. He's better than any of them. He's better than any of them. Other than Trent. Lamptey's better than all of them.
Alex, he's only had about 5 good games, hasn't he, this season?
No, but you see me, Louis. You see me, Joshua. I've got the eye. I've got it. I told you last season, Lamptey was the one. And then he started doing the madness, and now he's scoring and whatnot, and they're all saying he should be in the England team. I told you, Louis. This eye right here.
Fair enough. Josh, obviously the player and who we touched on in our England discussion, that's on everyone's lips at the moment. Jack Grealish, a few words for him?
Do you know what? I like Jack Grealish. I think he's a bit of a baller. I think he looks for the foul a little bit too much. I think he stays on the floor a bit too much.
He's a fucking diver, man.
He needs to get that out of his game.
No, he doesn't.
I think he's a player that Manchester United should definitely build their team around, and that's what I personally. I would go for Jack Grealish ahead of Sancho. I really would, because I think Jack Grealish has got that little swagger about him, that confidence, that he feels like he's the best player on the pitch at all times. But do I think he needs to leave Aston Villa? No, I think Aston Villa been a surprise package this season. And you look at the team; it's a solid team. And what's his name? I can't remember his first name, but McGinn, good midfielder.
John
McGinn, good midfielder. And then you got Tyrone Mings, you've got Martinez as the goalkeeper. I think that's his name. Good goalkeeper.
Yep.
And then Watkins is just banging in the goals. And Ross Barkley's got a new
lease of life.
Lease of life. That's exactly what he has, Alex. Thank you very much.
Did you see their goal against Arsenal? Did you guys see their goal against Arsenal? The one where Grealish and what's his name, Barkley, were just dicking about. And then they played it around them, and mate,
they just completely slowed it down the left, didn't they? And then
it was so saucy. Like Arsenal couldn't even get near them.
So I think Aston Villa will do well. Also, I think we're doing Spurs a disjustice here. Spurs have been a very solid start this season, and
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised about that.
I'm surprised about Harry Kane. What has he got? 8 goals and 8 assists. Come on, he's been superb.
Yeah, but he's always superb.
But assist wasn't really in his game. I thought he's a selfish little bitch. But that's a bit harsh, Harry Kane. I'm sorry. Harry Kane. That's a bit harsh. But to be fair, if he passed that ball to Raheem Sterling, they beat that team and then they go on to the freaking finals. So there we go.
Oh, World Cup. Is that what you're talking about now?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Fair enough.
Alex, does Jack Grealish need to move from Aston Villa to realise his, and sorry to offend Villa fans, but his full potential?
I mean, yeah. That's like
Villa are a big team, Alex.
they are 100%. Villa are a top team, and they are a really big team when it comes to history.
One more European titles than Man City.
But if we're talking about if he's going to actually fulfill his potential, he's going to outgrow the Villa standard right now. You know, so he's gonna want to look to go to a better team where he's going to be playing under better coaches, learning new systems and whatnot. You can never stay in one team, or other than Messi, I guess, but you can never really stay in one team and progress that much, in my opinion.
But which Premiership team do you reckon could afford him, and where does he fit into that team?
Man United.
Would you say?
Man United, get rid of Sancho. Don't get rid of that dream of Sancho.
They haven't signed him. What do you mean get rid of him?
Sancho's coming to Liverpool anyway, so it's fine. I think. Do you know what? I think Jack Grealish can walk into any team in the Premier League, and that I'm not even trying to gas the kid. I really do. Like his confidence level is, and the thing is, he's very like I've never seen anyone do up Virgil van Dijk the way he did this season, and I know it's a one-off game, but he never shies away from the moment, and I think a lot of teams need that. Manchester United need that in abundance. There's a lot of players that hide in Manchester United Football Club, and they need someone who's going to be like, look, give the ball to me, I'll make something happen. They don't have one player that does that. Maybe Bruno Fernandes, but he forces the ball a lot.
They have a bunch of those players. What do you mean? It's just the team isn't playing very well. Like you got Rashford, give the ball to me, I'll make things happen. Bruno Fernandes, give the ball to me. Paul Pogba, give the ball to me. They all fucking want the ball. They just can't make anything happen.
Exactly. You can't just be like, will make something happen.
But then that's just another player. That's just another player that's saying, "Oh, let's just chuck it into." Man United need everyone right now because their manager sucks and they don't have a system. They have no identity. So you can say any top player can go to Man United because literally it's not working there at the moment.
I think he'd be brilliant at Man City as well. Do you know what? I'm going to say something really wild here, and I don't care.
Here we go.
I think Jack Grealish is just as good as Silva. What's his name? Bruno Silva?
Fuck
Bernardo
off.
Silva? If not better. If not better.
Bernardo. I thought you were going to say David Silva.
Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva.
Whoa. I'm surprised about
Arguably.
Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva doesn't start games anymore for City. What's going on?
Exactly. And that's why I reckon he can get into the Man City team. Play him on the right side, interacting with all those players. He'd be sick.
Well, Mahrez plays there.
Yeah,
He doesn't start every game, but still. Mahrez plays
doesn't impress me too much as well.
Jack Grealish needs to come to Liverpool. He can play anywhere. Just get him to Liverpool. How about that? Not get him to Man United like this guy wants to say, or get him to Man City.
I would take Sancho over Grealish though.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
I don't know who I'd take.
Yeah. I think I'll take Sancho over Grealish.
I think people are treating Sancho as a disservice at the moment. He's a clever football player. His IQ is ridiculous.
Who, Sancho?
Yeah, ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Sancho's a great player, but he's not doing too well in the Bundesliga. But could be because he may want to leave. Yeah. So it could be whole. But Jack Grealish arguably could play more positions than Jadon Sancho. He could play either wing. He could play anywhere in the middle, apart from defensive mid, probably.
Maybe.
Sancho, you've only got either wing.
So
But
I think
options.
It's going to be a very interesting transfer window next summer anyway, to see where all those players will end up. Guys, let's final topic for this evening. Fantasy football. Obviously, you guys have your teams.
Louis smashing it right now. Louis is sick at fantasy football.
I didn't want to say, but thanks, Josh.
Thanks for the plug.
Who have you lot made any decisions for this weekend's round of games?
I've taken Salah out. I was like, Salah, you need to go. I put
rookie.
I put Ziyech in. I put Fernandes in because Manchester United are facing West Brom. They should beat West Brom. Newcastle have got Chelsea, so Ziyech should do the madness. I've left Harry Kane and Son in because I know a lot of people have bought into this Manchester City's defense. I haven't.
Me neither.
And yeah, my fullbacks. I just got fullbacks as defenders. So Chidwell, Lamptey, and Robertson.
Fair play. Robertson might not play. Might be injured.
No, he played today against in Scotland against Israel.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't see that.
Alex, who's been an ever present in your team this season, or any flops, any surprises?
Well, I took out Harry Kane that second week when he had 4 assists and scored once, so I brought him back in. So he's been ever present since. Salah's been ever present. I'm not Josh, so I don't make the transfers up until the last minute, which is when you should do it. Because what if Ziyech gets injured? Or Fernandes gets injured?
And I'm fucked.
Nah, you're screwed, mate. So you got to wait till the end. I'm looking at the Villa players, so maybe Grealish, or the Chelsea players, Ziyech. Oh, Werner's been in my team since the beginning. He's been all right, I guess. He'll probably be my captain this week. But yeah, those are the clubs I'm looking at because the fixture list looks good for them.
Fair enough. I think personally for myself, Trent Alexander, you have been a flop, mate. My fantasy team, not impressed with your form. You need to pick it up before you make it back into my team. Shout out to Pundits and Neto for Wolves and Harry Kane.
Yeah.
You are a god in my eyes.
Fair enough.
Guys, thanks for the episode this evening. For everyone who's made it this far, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow us, Instagram and Twitter, Sig the Pundits. Guys, any closing words? Alex?
Nah. Not really. Josh, any closing
If it's
words?
brown, flash it down. If it's yellow, let it mellow. Save the planet, guys. Don't be jerks.
Oh, God.
As we said at the start, everyone stay safe, wear your masks, wash your hands.